this presentation, Navigating the Crooked Path to Your Career Destination, Penn State educates students from 5 to 50, to 85 and plus, only because that's been my experience. So, and the reason why the crooked path is because most often it's really hard to decide, at a young age what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And sometimes that'll change over the course of your career for multiple reasons. It's funny, prior to COVID, we were all moving along in our path, and then all of a sudden this happened, and there's become a need for a variety of careers that may not have ever existed before. So, the healthcare industry has certainly boomed. Who all thought that if you were someone who created, developed, and processed masks or hand sanitizer, that would be a growing industry? If you would have asked this question a year or so ago, people would have been like, what? So that's the thing about career pathways. Sometimes, there are things that disrupt a career pathway that could change your mindset about what you're doing or what you want to do. People start in career paths, they lose jobs, they change jobs, they move. So, there's a lot of different things that you're thinking about now that you may not be thinking about in the future. I wanted to use this quote because I think it's really a good quote. It's from Tom Freston, and it says, "A career path is really a path at all. The more interesting life is usually a more crooked, winding path of missteps, luck, vigorous work, and always a clumsy balance between things you try to make happen and the things that happen to you. You may enter college or technical school, trade school, or start working right out of high school and learn, wow, this is not what I expected. This is not something that I want to do. And totally take a 360 turn and find something else that's more interesting. You also may start your career path in a place where you begin medical school, or you begin school about education or whatever interests you, and think, oh, wow, that's really cool, but how can I use that education degree, or how can I use a medical degree in a way that helps me do different things? Naturally in medicine, there are a variety of paths. You have, pediatrics, you have gerontology, you have dermatology, all very, very different. So sometimes, choosing something gives you an idea of kind of where you want to be, but then when you actually start to do it, you find some different things that, might kind of come out of that as you're going along. So one of the things that I don't think a lot of people are aware is the number of jobs that are held over a lifetime, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which tracks, what people are doing and when. Can anyone tell me what their guess would be? Maya, or Jordan, do you want to take a guess? Okay, those of you who are on the screen or not on the screen, you might be surprised to learn that it's actually 12. So over the course of your lifetime, you will likely, if you're average, hold somewhere between, 7 and 15 jobs. So the average number is 12. And a lot of people your age might say, well, oh my gosh, that's a lot. I have in my mind that I want to do A, B, or C. I want to be, a nurse, and that's what I'm going to do. But it's very likely that that won't be exactly what you do for all of your life. And even if it is, you will work at 12 different jobs doing nursing or something like nursing. And at Penn State, a lot of the students coming in, they look at us and they go, well, 12 jobs, I want to be a teacher, or I want to be a business person, or I want to be a pharmacist, or I want to be a lawyer. But you can do those things, but it's likely that you're not going to do them in one job for the rest of your life. So what does that mean to you? In addition to your K through 12 education, you need to make some career choices. And throughout your life, you'll always need to learn something new. Nobody wants to get stuck in a job where they're just kind of doing the same thing forever. So I want you to keep an open mind, because if you say something like, when I was a little kid, I wanted to be, a doctor. that tells me that you like helping people. But do you really want to be a doctor, or do you want to help people in another way? Or if you are a doctor, how do you want to help people? Do you want to work in an emergency room where it's crazy busy and you're, on the cusp of everything that's going on when people first come into the hospital? Or do you want to be a doctor where you have a family practice that's pediatrics, that you're just working with little kids? Or do you want to be a doctor in a way that you might do research? Or for that matter, you could be, you could work in forensic science as a doctor. So there are a lot of different pathways for the things that you want to do. And I just want to show you up here, because I think a lot of people automatically think that it's, kindergarten, grade school, college, work. And sometimes that's not the pathway. And it's sometimes not the pathway for all people. That doesn't mean that it's not a good path. It means that it's not the only path. So what I have listed here and what I want to talk to you today about are the different benefits of doing any one of these 8 things. So I know a lot of you are in high school now, and you're looking at, okay, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Well, there are a lot of different things you can do, and they don't necessarily have to be, a direct route into a 4-year college. And the things that I have listed here, I'm going to talk about the benefits of each one. So, the first one is college. I work for Penn State. We're a 4-year academic institution that does a lot of research. A lot of people know us for football. It's a Big Ten school, very large. There's a lot of benefits to going to college, and I'll talk about those in a minute. There are trade schools. Trade schools typically teach you how to do something rather quickly at a low cost that you can work right away. Technical education is something that's really on the rise with automation, robotics. Technical education requires getting some kind of certification to do something very specific in the IT arena. You may just opt to go into the workforce immediately after high school. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of people will do that in order to find out something about themselves, to maybe mature a little bit, to see what it's like to be out there, or basically just get money for college or trade school. Or a lot of different companies that you might work for right out of high school might have tuition reimbursement packages, or they might have management training programs where you can progress in a career that's with that organization that you go to right after high school. Certifications, a lot of people that go into healthcare don't necessarily require a 4-year degree. They might just require certification. At Penn State, we do a lot of certifications, and we've been extremely busy with our personal care home certifications. We do some healthcare certifications for personal care homes, assisted living, and nursing homes. And basically, what these programs prepare you to do is to work with people that need a little extra help. And a lot of these certifications, what they require is minimal education and some kind of licensure. So it could be a healthcare certification, somebody that works in a lab, draws blood. Hairdressers require certifications. We don't offer that kind of training at Penn State, but those are some of the things that require state license. And then there are OJT, which is on-the-job training, or apprenticeships. And what that means is you go to work for a company and they train you how to do the job. I put continuing education up there because if you do any one of the first 6, you may want to come back to school to do some other things. For example, if you become a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher or a CPA, a certified public accountant, in order to maintain your career and to keep your license current, you constantly have to take continuing education credits. So you may have to take 3 or 4 or 5 or 20 credits a year to keep your license. And then there's entrepreneurship, which is growing industry. If you like to bake cookies, or you like to do some kind of craft or make jewelry, you may want to think about having an online business. Really popular right now, considering the COVID environment. So I'm going to go through each one of these and tell you a little bit about the benefits of each one and how they relate kind of to Penn State. So the first one is college. If you are college bound and you already have a career choice that you think you want to pursue, college is a great opportunity for you. The highlights of going to college is you can create a specialized career. So you can be doctor, lawyer, attorney, business person. You can work in sustainability. All of those things have degrees attached to them, and they will prepare you to work in those industries specifically. Having a college degree definitely increases your marketability. When people are looking for jobs in those specialized careers and they have an edge, whether it be a 4-year degree or a master's degree, they're definitely going to have an edge over someone that doesn't in those particular careers. Evidence shows and research illustrates that people with a college degree will have a higher lifetime earning potential over the course of their entire career. Also, if you're college bound, you can prepare for advancement. For example, if you're college bound and you know you want to go to medical school or you know you want to become a lawyer, those 4 years are essential in order for you to get into law school or medical school. And then the demand for skilled college educated workers continues to rise. There is always going to be a need for somebody with a college degree in very specific areas. Again, you can't be an attorney or a doctor without a college degree. Okay. Second to that, trade school. Trade school is a little less expensive. There is a big emphasis on the trades right now, most particularly in southwestern Pennsylvania, across the state and across the country. The nice thing about trade school is a lot of industry sectors will allow you to come into trade school whenever you first get out, while you're in high school. There are actually community colleges that offer programs that you can do while you're in high school. So basically you can kind of start when you want. The other thing is too, is when you're talking about trade school, it's very specific. So the classes are small and you're working with people that are specifically like-minded. So they are looking at the same trades as you. So for example, if you're going into the building trades and you're interested in becoming an electrician, you're going to be going to school with electricians. And that's different than college because in your liberal arts classes, you're going to have people from every other degree. So it's kind of cool because you can be with people that are pursuing the same career that you're pursuing. Right now, there are tremendous opportunities in the trades. And I know a lot of people make money in trades. Is it as good as a college degree? Or, is the work all hard? A lot of people used to have this mindset where working in manufacturing was dirty, the old steel mills, and it was hot and all this kind of stuff. But a lot of the trades now, the environments are very comfortable. The other thing is too, is it allows you to save money. 4-year degrees are extremely expensive. And when you get out on the other side, a lot of people are going to have some kind of funding that they have acquired some kind of funding that they're going to have to pay back. So a trade school can be a lot less expensive. Stay current. And what that means basically is if you go to trade school, your career, while it'll be the same over the course of your life, you may do things that are different. I know somebody who is a glazer that works in the glass industry, and that person used to install residential and commercial glass shower doors. They've made things like trophy cases for the Super Bowl trophies. They've made custom, stained glass. So they've done different things. But it's interesting to look at the trades. If you like to work with your hands, that's another place to look for the trades. If you like to go to work in comfortable attire, if you like to work outside sometimes, the trades are an interesting option. A lot of the training is hands-on, so you're not sitting in a class having someone, teach you theory. You're actually, pounding nails or, putting together circuit boards or whatever the case may be. And the job placement right now is incredible. You can finish up a trades program in a year, sometimes 2. and you can be immediately placed into a job. And I'll go back to number 4 there. So if you're thinking about doing something else, but you don't have the money for college, or you don't have the money to pursue, you know, your lifetime goal of being an entrepreneur or having your own business, you know, to be able to get out there and work quickly to make a decent wage and save money to do other things, that's a good option. And you can get your degree faster. The trades do provide different opportunities to affiliate yourself with unions. Unions have great benefits in terms of, you know, career opportunities. And, you know, if you want to start a family, you can almost guarantee yourself, if you can get into a union, you're going to have great benefits, and the protection to increase your earning potential over the course of your career. Then there are IT certifications. And a lot of times, if you are really, really tech savvy and you like these kinds of things, a lot of times, if you go even in through a 2-year program at Penn State or community college, you can start your IT career and build by adding these certificates on to your degree, or not to your degree if you don't pursue an entire degree. IT right now, robotics, artificial intelligence, you're going to get a job. Anything in the IT industry, you will get hired. The nice thing about IT is it's constantly innovating. So, you know, you might be doing one thing in IT and then take another certification and do something different. It's going to keep you constantly on the edge of learning new and current technologies. Definitely by adding these additional credentials on, let's say you get a business degree and you are tech savvy and you want to add some of these certifications, that's an opportunity for you to get a promotion or advance in your career. Because a lot of times it's tough. I graduated with a business degree. I teach in a business school, and a lot of people with a business degree they know they want to work in business, but they're not exactly sure how to get an edge or how to get a job in business. And if you are finished up a business degree and you are tech savvy, this is a way to get your foot in the door with a company, because it upskills you. It's something that you can build on any career with. You can even build onto a medical career with these kinds of things, because there are people that work in the back, on the back end of hospitals that you know, all records are kept this way. So those kinds of certifications and knowing those technologies, that might be a way of blending, for example, a medical career and a technology career. Or you may be able to finish up, you know, working actively as a medical professional and want to teach. And these are ways that you can do that. A lot of companies will pay for these certification renewals. So that's one way also. If you get a job and you want to do something different, or you want to do something that will progress your career, then you can take these kinds of certifications. Okay, working right after high school, which may not be the most popular choice for everyone, but it is a good choice. There are no bad choices. One of the things that working right out of high school can do is it can help you learn to appreciate school. I know when I was in high school, and I hear a lot of my college students say, you know, I don't want to be in school. I can't stand school. I already went through 12 years. What am I going to do now? But if you get out there and you start working in the real world, and you're detached from, you know, an educational environment, you can learn to appreciate school. And sometimes jumping right from high school into some other educational environment may not be for everyone. And there's nothing wrong with working right out of high school, but you want to be smart about it, because, you know, I'm going to go back to that whole crooked path philosophy where, you know, you want to have an end in mind. So are you working right out of high school for what reason? You know, and again, I had talked about companies that offer tuition reimbursement, or, you know, it's a way to make some money to pursue something else, or it's a way to supplement your income while you're going to school. So you can work right out of high school and attend college, work right out of high school, be doing an apprenticeship. And a lot of those other things are attached to working right out of high school. the benefits to that is it helps you to learn to appreciate school, right? Because you're not in the formal school environment. It also allows you to gain life experience, because versus going right into college or right into trade school or right into whatever, if you're working right after high school, it's likely that you're going to be working with a lot of different age categories. So, you may develop relationships with people that can mentor you. It also just teaches you how to appreciate the thoughts of other people that aren't exactly like you. You're working with, sometimes older people, sometimes younger people. It helps you gain independence. When you work right out of high school, whether you're doing it just as a job or as a supplement to, maybe you're working a part-time job and you're in college, what it does is it allows you to gain independence, because it teaches you responsibility. You have to be somewhere at a certain time. You're going to be getting a paycheck. You're going to learn how to use, online banking or whatever. You're going to learn, financial independence, how to work with money, and just how the inner workings of a company works, right? It allows you to put more thought into your career. So basically what that is, you're sitting in high school right now and you're saying, okay, I don't even know what I want to do right now. Rather than jump into something just for the sake of doing it, sometimes it's wise to sit back and reflect on what it is you really want to do. You may end up working in a retail establishment where you learn, wow, I'm working at Ulta Beauty and I really like this, but I'd like to manage the store that I'm working in, because the manager is making more money and the manager has some control over what's going on. And the manager is able to work a little differently with the customers than I do. And the manager does scheduling. So you may think, oh, okay, well, now I know I like working in retail and I want to be a manager. So how do I get to that level? So that's when you might think, okay, business school might be an option, or trade school or a 2-year business degree might be an option. Or on the flip side, you may be working in that retail establishment. You may learn, the part of this I really like is the part where people are coming in and they're putting on makeup and they're doing this. Maybe I want to be a makeup artist, or maybe I want to go into cosmetology or something like that, where I'm actually working hands-on with someone, to make them more beautiful. So there's a lot of different ways, and that can work, in the food industry too. You go to work and you're working in the food industry, and you're going to college, and you may be going to college for, I don't know, maybe you're going to college for sustainability and you're working in the food industry, and you start to learn about food insecurity and those kinds of things. So, while you think you're just maybe flipping burgers or serving fries or whatever the case may be, you may learn, hey, I really like this. And isn't it cool how this tastes? Well, if I put this on this tastes differently. So, maybe you start to think about, do I want to be a chef? Or, do I want to think about, how the price of this hamburger comes out of the different things that have to be purchased to make it. So maybe you want to think about, how would I be in management, or how would I work in maybe accounting, where, you're closing the store at night and you're cashing out the register and stuff. So, those are the things that you can learn from working right after school. It helps you put thought into your career. You can decide then if school is right for you. 9 out of 10 times, you're probably going to figure out that you are going to want to do something as a result of that. And it also allows you to save money for school. So you can become a little more financially dependent. You can save a little money, maybe take less, student loans or whatever, or maybe you take student loans, but you like to buy certain things and you want to have that extra pocket money. So a lot of people work right out of high school. Healthcare. And I think right now, and I put this up here because healthcare at Penn State are the programs that are truly booming. Our medical school is flourishing. At the Beaver campus, we offer some healthcare certifications. They're flourishing. the fact that we're in the middle of COVID is causing people to think about careers in healthcare. What we assumed would happen is people would be running the other direction, right? I don't want to work in healthcare if it means I have to deal with COVID. But a lot of people become a lot more interested in healthcare. Things like contact tracing. We're educating contact tracers right now. 2 years ago, that wouldn't have even been a career that people were really thinking about. People are thinking about, pharmacy or biology or research. How do we cure this thing? Or how do we find a vaccine for it? And people are thinking, personal care homes, because the elderly have really suffered from this disease. People are running to become personal care home administrators, which is surprising, but they want to be there to help. And these certifications, some of the healthcare certifications, they're single standard. So you're either going to be a nurse or a personal care home administrator or a pharmacist. Some of them take less time to graduate depending on what level. If you're talking about medical school or pharmacy, it's going to be a long time. If you're talking about nursing, depending on whether you want to be, an RN, a BSN, a nursing assistant, that's going to take less time. They're very skill oriented. They're very focused on healthcare specifically. You're going to be working with people somehow to make them better. It can be less costly depending on the program, and it pays off faster. The earning potential for folks in the medical field is really can really be high depending on the job. And there are certainly right now, most particularly, there are job opportunities that exist out there. The other thing, on-the-job training and apprenticeship programs are another way of learning how to do something that will enhance a career. And a lot of people are confused by this. What does that mean? So, a lot of times companies will hire people and train them to do something because they want them to do it a very specific way. Again, I'm going to go back to the glass industry. And my husband works in the glass industry, and they hire people who have no experience because they want to teach them how to work with glass. Well, there's no real training out there that teaches you how to do that. And they're working with, sometimes 300 and 400 pound conference room tables that are glass. So you have to learn a lot about safety. You have to learn how to measure properly. You have to learn how to polish glass. You have to learn how to cut and lead it. So there's something that is very hands-on about that you're not going to learn in any school. There's no school that's going to teach you how to do that. Some of the other apprenticeship type trainings that I've worked with are, I work with a trucking company who hires people to do logistics. Whenever Amazon is delivering, hundreds of thousands of packages a day, somebody has to be managing those truck routes. So, that's another way that there's really not a school that can teach you how to do it. You can get a degree in logistics, but those apprenticeships are critically important because you're actually learning how to apply it to that particular job. You're earning while you learn. You don't have debt, right? Because you're going to work for a company that is actually going to train you to do a job. Now you say, well, okay, so I'm working for that company. But that experience is critical because if you ever move to a different town or go to a different company that does the same job, you're going to take that experience with you. It's practical and relevant experience. It's usually something that's very hands-on. You can progress within a business, and you learn team dynamics. One of the things that I have to stress that is so very important is if you do go to college, take an internship. It will oftentimes lead to a job, or at least teach you how to work in that industry so that when you're looking for a job, you'll learn not only the technical part of what you're going to be looking at, but once you're working in a company, you learn how those companies work so that you kind of know the ins and outs and the things you should say and the other soft skills that you might want to have that are related to that job. The last one is entrepreneurship. There are a lot of opportunities for people that want to have their own business. At Penn State, we have a competition for our students every year. It's very similar to Shark Tank. It's called Lion's Den, where students across campuses, and all of the campuses do this, they develop either a process or a product, and they actually sell it, just like Shark Tank. And then we oftentimes will adopt those projects. So one, for example, is someone said, you know, when you have college campuses and kids are moving from building to building, a lot of times they're carrying books and other things. And, you know, if they were commuter students, they don't necessarily stay on the campus, so they may not have an umbrella when it rains. So one of the students said that, you know, for businesses that have several buildings, wouldn't it be a cool idea if at the door for every building there were umbrellas that you could take an umbrella from one building to the next and just drop it off? We implemented that idea. Another idea that somebody had was with regard to college students needing financial literacy or just regular home economics or around the house skills. And we're adopting that right now. You know, the college student came up with an idea of, you know, why isn't there a program to teach kids? And again, there's Google, right? But, you know, while you're in college, wouldn't it be easy if you had somebody come onto campus and teach them how to change a tire, how to do their taxes, you know, how to change a furnace filter, how to sew a button on. You know, those are things that people just don't teach people anymore. You might learn a little bit of that in if there even is home economics that exist in high school. There used to be when I was in school, but just those things, you know, how to make paella, how to choose a wine, right, when you get a little older. So the benefits of entrepreneurship are you're able to chart your own destiny. I love the show Kids Baking Championship. And I see these kids get on there and they make these creative cookies and cupcakes and they start selling them out of their home. And then all of a sudden they have a storefront or a food truck. There's room for creativity. Again, if you like to make jewelry or you like to make something with your hands, if you have your own business, you can be as creative as you want, right? You can do it on your own terms. You definitely learn problem solving because in order to have an entrepreneurship spirit, you have to be able to solve problems. Okay, I'm going to make jewelry, so I'm going to have to buy beads. And how much are those beads going to cost? And how am I going to charge the people that buy them for the beads and still make some money? So you have to learn a little bit about, you know, how to make a profit on what it is you're selling. You have to develop grit. It takes grit to have your own business because you're actually selling a piece of yourself. You have to get out there. You have to market your business. You have to find somebody that's interested in whatever you're offering. It helps you meet a demand. You know, do you live in an area where, you know, if you live in a rural area, maybe there aren't certain things available that you could fill a gap. You know, there might not be a bakery near you. Maybe you want to start making cookies out of your home or selling birthday cakes. And it gives you independence. Again, you're selling yourself, but it's on your own terms. So you decide when you do it, how you do it, how much you do it, you know, what time's invested. So basically, you know, education and any one of these paths is not the right path, right? Any one of them can be right for a particular person. You know, some people are definitely college bound. That's what they've decided. That's what they want to do. But it's not for everyone. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it used to be you either went to college or you got married or you worked. And now there are so many different ways to educate yourself to, you know, have a career in a lot of different areas that you need to think about those things and really think about, okay, what do I like to do? What am I good at? You know, any job can be the right one if it's the right one for you. And, you know, working in a continuing education department like I do, I put this quote up here. It's no longer thought of as preparation for adult life, but it's a continuing process of growth and development from birth until death. Basically, we're all going to be working. Well, most of us are going to be working until we have to retire. So how do we want to spend those 20, 30, 40 years, right? And maybe it is you want to be a doctor and that's it. You're a doctor forever. Or maybe you want to, think about, I'm going to go work and take an apprenticeship somewhere. I'm going to go work in the food industry to see if I really do like to cook. Because maybe you like to cook in your kitchen, but you may not like to work in a commercial kitchen. That can teach you how. There are some things that I like to do with my hands. Maybe I want to do my own thing. Am I an independent person? Am I motivated to be able to start my own business? And if you do want to do things with your hands, maybe I want to be an electrician. Maybe I want to work on circuit boards. Maybe I want to cut glass. Maybe I want to build buildings. So, there are a lot of options out there. And sometimes the first one you choose isn't going to be the one that you're dedicated to for the rest of your life. So it's interesting to think that, you could start down one path and totally make a left turn. I'm teaching in higher education. I use a business degree. I started out as a hairdresser. I've done all kinds of things. So I'm probably the epitome of having those 12 jobs. So really think about what you want to do. And once you do decide, be driven in whatever it is. Just a couple of the things that we do at Penn State and the reasons why I have these things up here are just to illustrate a little bit. Up here you can see some of our K through 12 activities, youth programs. We offer robotics camps for kids. In the summer, we do a lot of different academic STEM camps. So we offer robotics, chemistry, CSI. We do a Harry Potter camp, all kinds of different camps. And then here, again, healthcare is a very, it's a growing industry sector. So if you like to work with people or you're interested in medicine, or just this COVID thing has made you think about a career path that might lead you down that way. There are certainly those opportunities at Penn State. Again, I have this up here. There are opportunities to do on-the-job training, mentorship. And again, anything that you decide to do, it exists out there. The biggest challenge is kind of sorting through the mess, right? Where do okay, so I know I want to be this now. How do I get started? And the best advice I can give to anyone is to reach out to an institution that has the program you have. And maybe it's not Penn State. Of course, I'd love for all of you to come to Penn State, but look and see and do some investigation. Don't set your mind in one direction until you've researched all the opportunities that will allow you to do some of the things you like. And finally, just to say the best way to predict your future is to create it. And I think that's the most important thing. Think about, what do I like to do? When do I like to do it? How do I like to do it? Where do I want to do it? It's, are you a morning person? Do you want to work in an office from 8 to 5? Would you want to work at night? Maybe you want to be a nurse on night shift. So you want to think about not just the what, but the how, the where. Would I be comfortable working in a hospital? Do I want to just work at home? Do I want to work outside? So think about all those questions that you would ask yourself when you want to do anything. Basically, again, what is it you want to do? How do you want to do it? Where do you want to do it? When do you want to do it? Those things are all important too. So once you decide, okay, is a healthcare career for me? Do I want to work in a hospital, a research lab, a doctor's office? Do I want to work? Do I want to travel maybe and help people in disadvantaged countries? Those kinds of things. So you want to think about that. And the last slide I'm going to give you here is just a slide with a lot of information. So I kind of did some research on my own and looked at some things that might be helpful to you. So these links, the first one talks about the STEAM camps we have at Penn State Beaver. So you can link directly there and see all of the camps that we offer. This is my department, Continuing Ed. It's for non-traditional education that is not a 4-year degree. This is academics at Penn State. This is any four-year degree at any college. I do want to remind you, if you do decide to take a degree that is a four-year degree that Penn State offers, and you don't want to or can't get accepted immediately at the University Park campus, all of the other campuses across the Commonwealth are set up the same way. They have food services, they have dorm rooms, they have activities. So you can start your the first 2 years of your education with Penn State pretty much anywhere in the state. And then this is important because I think a lot of times people don't take advantage of scholarships. Penn State offers their own scholarships. So if you want to, talk to somebody about Penn State and you want to know what's available for discounted rates at Penn State, you can apply for a Penn State scholarship. Most universities have those. But most importantly, in the state of Pennsylvania, there are scholarships for all kinds of stuff. There are scholarships to go to culinary school. There are scholarships to do apprenticeships. Take a look, if you do nothing else, if you don't look at anything else on this page, take a look at these scholarship opportunities. There are a million of them. Some of them are $500, some of them are $1,000, some of them are more. There are also some really good scholarships for women in STEM through College Line. And I would suggest you take a look there. If you're a female that maybe is interested in engineering or some kind of technology area, those scholarships exist too. And then I also put a link to different types of apprenticeship jobs in Pennsylvania. So you can go right here and look at places that are offering apprenticeships to students right out of school at no cost. And then, of course, there are grant applications that you can look for other funding to help you supplement your whatever your career pathway is. So